Today we're going to drive you into a different neighborhood. We're going to show you a couple of homes. We want you to see what you can get in South Reno and still be under $1 million. We're going to show you two houses today between 900 and probably about 950, 960. But if you're not sure where this neighborhood is, we're again in South Reno. We're just below Saddlehorn. We're just to the south of Fieldcreek. And if you're driving up Mount Rose Highway, which we can show you all this on a map, if you're going up Mount Rose Highway, we're going to be on the right-hand side of the road. So for those of you that are looking for the schools like Galena High School, or as you go down Mount Rose Highway, that's where there's this great shopping, which the Little League fields are nearby, the skating rink for ice, whether you play hockey or just want to ice skate. There's a lot of good reasons as to why people want to be on this end of town, and it's easy access, especially if you're someone who likes to ski. All right, so this is a new listing we have coming on the market, 2305 Stow Drive. We have not exactly picked the price, but we're going to be somewhere between those mid to low 900s. And this is one where, when we show you off the backyard, it's got a lot of room behind it. It's actually on just under an acre, even though a portion of that backyard isn't really usable. But this is a nice one-story house that is a little over 2,000 square feet. They've done a lot of great remodeling and stuff inside, and you can see this is one of those houses that you can pretty much be ready to go, move-in ready, and the landscaping is awesome. So we're now in the backyard. This house doesn't really have any fencing around it, but what's nice about this house, even though the space back there isn't overly usable, it means that you're gonna have a lot of space. There's no neighbors anywhere close by, and then you still got this big whole landscape area as you pan that way. And this house has got a tile roof, it's got the wood exterior, air conditioning, and what's nice about having a one-level house is you're not gonna get shaded out at this time of year so that you're, landscaping's having a problem. But when you walk in the front door and you make a hard right, there's a couple of bedrooms in the front, and the master bedroom, they're all on that same side, has a really great kitchen with some really nice features and some upgrades. And so homes like this, especially when they're one level, you're gonna end up with a lot of interest in them because most people are looking for something that's this size, and it's hard to find when you don't want 3,000 or 4,000 square feet along stuff along those lines. So in a house like this in Northern Nevada is going to sell somewhere in this 925 to 940 range, and it'll be on the market sooner than later. So we literally just drove about 45 seconds from the first house that we were on Stow Drive. And the second house we're going to show you on Killington is literally right behind us, about a 30, 60 second walk away. And what we wanted to do is just take you up here real quick and give you a little idea of where the park is. And then there's some homes here up on the hill that you access from the Mount Rose side that are really nice. We actually have some friends over there that live in that neighborhood. So we're just gonna take a quick little loop around. There's a nice little grass area, so if you want to throw a football or throw a baseball or take your dogs out and run around, you can do it right here from this park. And again, those houses up on the hill, that's Monte Rosa, and those are mostly $1 million plus that we have friends who live up in those neighborhoods. But you can see there's nice access to these things that are really close together that you can get to, so you can get outside. And then literally, we're gonna just drive you there. If you come right down this street, the house that we're gonna show you on Killington is just right here. And this was a house that we sold about 6 months ago, but we wanna always give you an idea of what you can expect to see. And now this house is actually much bigger. It's 2 stories. The inside is definitely in need of some updating. So this house, which is a lot larger than the one on Stow Drive, is literally sold for $950, where the one on Stow Drive is probably going to sell somewhere between $925 and $950. And people always ask, why is that? So this one here, which is much bigger. So this is a house that we sold for $950. It was back in December. And this one is a 2,888 square foot. So it's about 700-800 square feet bigger. The lot size is 0.41 acres. The other lot was actually 0.9 acres. But again, it's probably only usable for half of that. So the usable parts are pretty similar, but the lot on the other one is much bigger. So you have no neighbor just behind you, where this one being on a corner has neighbors that are nearby. And of course, park-like landscaping. But again, 4 bedrooms, 2 stories. So a little bit different, has all the modern amenities. It's got tile roofs and wood siding. All those things are the same. It does have a 3-car garage. And again, these are all zoned for all the same things here in the south. From where I'm sitting, you can actually see the G up on the hill for Galena High School. You can get in this neighborhood for under $1 million. Now, the other thing about these neighborhoods is this is a little bit wider streets, no sidewalks. You can see by the size of the trees and the landscaping, it's a little more mature neighborhood. And so this is a really popular area for somebody that's not looking for your normal, track home neighborhood on little 1/4 acre or smaller lots that are tight together. This is one where people get a little more elbow room, a little more space, a lot more RV access, a lot more 3 and 4 car garages, and a lot more space depending on, how big a house you need. The other thing just becomes a matter of some of these are going to be remodeled and look really new and others are not. And that's going to change the price points a lot. And you'll see from the photos we already showed you on Stow Drive versus Killington, there is a massive difference on the finish work, where this one here is going to need a whole lot more updating and work where the other one did not. And that's why they're going to sell for similar prices, even though Stow Drive is about 600-700 square feet smaller. If you are starting on your journey to moving to Northern Nevada, click the link in the description below. We'll get you a copy of our free buyer's guide that will give you a lot of great information for what you need to know about living and moving to Northern Nevada. So we just took you just across Mount Rose Highway, which is literally just right there. And on the other side was, we're going to show you Galena High School. That is Doral Academy. It's a private school that people have their kids going to. And as you go this way, there's a huge storage facility, and their houses that you see up on the hill over there, that is Rolling Meadows. That is another neighborhood where you can still find homes under $1 million, and the high school is just below. But this is part of why a lot of people want to live on this town. So if they want their kids to go to Doral Academy or Galena High School, which are both very popular schools, they can easily do that. The only downside is some of these houses you can see here, you get close to Mount Rose Highway and it can be a little loud, a little noisy. And again, so you want to be a little tucked more in the neighborhood. Most of the houses are at least far enough back there, but you might be able to just see the tops of some roofs. But that highway, as you lead up, leads you to Montreux, Galena Forest, and those kind of neighborhoods where it starts to get a lot more expensive. So if you want to live on the south end of town, this would be the places to do it, to where, like I said, you could stay under $1 million. So now we're shooting from the parking lot of Galena High School, and the school is huge. It goes way over there. There's baseball, football fields, the whole 9 yards. There's about 1,500-ish kids who go to school here. And again, those houses that you can't see now behind that G up there on the hill, there's houses just below that. And again, if we just turn right around, there's houses like this that I would say probably sell for a little less money than what we saw just earlier today on Stow Drive in Killington. So we just came down from Galena High School. We're literally a 30-second drive from where we just were. I wanted to show you the shopping center that pretty much everybody up in those neighborhoods uses down here. And if we go down Mount Rose Highway, literally about another 2 to 3 minutes, that's where that giant new mall, outdoor mall, is for everybody that they all go to. So we have the Century Theaters. We just got a brand new Dave & Buster's, a Land and Ocean restaurant. And you can see as this goes around, the mall is huge. And so this mall that is now getting some new stores and things in it. I know everyone was concerned when it first came in that people were not gonna want to be in an outdoor mall, especially in the wintertime. But the mall has done remarkably well. People have been coming out here supporting it. And you can see right there now, there's a Trader Joe's in the background. There's a Boot Barn, but there's just a lot of great places in here. We're getting a new restaurant. Actually, that looks like it's gonna be a Starbucks, but back in the corner, you've got Lululemon and Talbot's, and you got a bunch of good stops in the back. There's a golf store. A buddy of mine has a place we did a video about called Hammer and Nails, like a men's salon back there, and Dillard's. And then of course, right next to that Trader Joe's is Renown, which is one of our urgent care facilities. So you can see there's lots of good places, and all of this stuff is gonna be anywhere from 5, 10, 12 minutes from all those houses, just depending on where people are trying to live. So one of the other benefits of living in the south end of town is there are 4 awesome Little League fields right here. There's a larger field for the older kids that are right over there. There is the yellow library. Right behind the yellow library and all that are the soccer fields. And then we'll give you a better shot from the other side. But right behind here, this is the Reno Ice skating rink. And then there's the Meadow Creek Shopping Center right on the other side, where now there's food and some other amenities right there. So there's that main entrance. And then literally right across the street now, there's all these great places. So before, when you had Little League or things going on, there was not a lot of great places to go eat and all that stuff. You had to go to that Raleigh Shopping Center that we showed you before. But now there's all kinds of other options that are on this end of town. So we wanted to give you some statistics, and we're kind of getting to the end of the video here, so we're in my car. But Sydney had pulled some numbers, and she's not on the video this week because she's had a cold and she's got a really bad cough, and so it's not going to sound real good. But right now, there's only 3 active listings in this part of town under $1 million for $825, $839, and another one that's around $700,000. And when they are, they're going to be more by that first strip mall that we saw that are a little more tract homes, smaller lots, those kind of things. And for the homes that sold in the last 8 months, we got about 8 or 9 of them that all sold between about $700 and $1 million. If you want to live on the south end of town, you can still find plenty of stuff, whether it is in the South Meadows or whether it's in Galena Meadows, for under $1 million. It just really depends on what people are looking for. And there's a huge difference between the tract home, stucco tile roof, small lots in the South Meadows versus the bigger lots, more quarter, half acre, even almost up to a full acre a little bit older, a little bit more mature landscaping, but also a little more like wiggle room for things to get around. But everything on this side is zoned for Galena. Everything, if you're on the other side, is zoned for DeMonte Ranch High School. So a little bit different if you have the needs for those school things. So if you are looking for more information about living on this end of town, by all means, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you on your journey to moving to Northern Nevada.